Well, hello everyone. I just thought I'd pop on here and just go through the letter about returning to school on the 8th of March. I'm conscious the letter's quite long and some people have said they find it a lot easier if they can just hear it kind of face to face. So I will go through some of the things about coming back. Firstly, to say that but myself, Mrs. Edlin and the rest of the staff are really looking forward to the children coming back to school. Whilst we've had some children in school, it just seems a bit soulless without them. We've missed them terribly. It's been lovely to see what most of them have been doing, but we're conscious that some of them we've hardly seen at all, and we've just really missed them. And we know how important it is for the children to get back to some degree of routine and normality. So we're very much looking forward to the children coming back. I hope you will be positive no matter how you're feeling. I know some of you will be feeling quite nervous about the children coming back. Some of you might not want them to come back. Others of you will probably think, I can't wait. But however you're feeling, let's all together be positive about this experience and give that positive vibe to the children about how great it is going to be just coming back into school for what is essentially, to start with, just 3 weeks before a 2-week Easter holiday. So we will be doing all we can before the children come back to help to ease that transition for them. I know that the teachers will be doing, will be supporting that in their team's lessons next week. They will also be having the opportunity to watch the morning briefing with myself and Mrs. Edlin and Miss Proctor. That next week, our 8:15 live briefings will be very much focused on easing that transition and thinking about the things that might be important to the children. So, for example, we'll be talking about anxiety, we'll be talking about friendships, we'll be talking about change and how we can manage change. We'll be talking, we'll be showing the children around the school again, just to get them a bit more excited about coming back in, and I think that will really help. So in terms of attendance from the 8th is mandatory. So that means that the children have to, by law, be in school from the 8th of March. We don't authorise holiday in normal situations, but in this situation we certainly will really be discouraging you from taking any sort of holiday or taking your children out for days at all. It's going to be really vital that the children are in school all of the time when they can be, because they've had so much time out that I can't stress this enough. And even though the government have put in place you being able to go on holiday from the week after Easter, please don't take your children out of school to go on holiday. The penalty notices will be back in place, but it's not really about the fines and the penalty notices. It's about the fact that children will be missing us plugging the gaps. They'll be missing some big chunks of learning. And it's just not good for their routine or their confidence to be taken out of school. Same thing goes for punctuality. It will be really important that your children are in school in time for them to start their lessons. Now, the start times for the children are the start times of their lessons. So please don't, if you can, please, well, no, absolutely, please do not just wander in, you know, a few minutes late, because it's really disruptive to the lesson, and it's also really disruptive to your child. I can't tell you enough how it affects your child if they're constantly coming in late, even if it's just a couple of minutes. It really is unsettling at the start of the day. The best thing you can do is to get them in even just a little bit early, or, you know, on time, to start their lessons in time. That will give them time to just take a little bit of a breathing space before they go full into their lessons. We'll continue for dropping off and collecting your children. We'll still continue to use the one-way system that we've used before. And we're going to continue with the start and finish stagger times. Now, I know some parents felt that those stagger times were a bit too close to each other. However, having spoken to staff, it really is, it makes such a difference if we can just condense those a little bit for the children, particularly for those children who are not being picked up till later, because they've got siblings in other classes that they're waiting for. That does rely, parents, on you socially distancing when you come into the playground. Please just use all the area of the playground. Don't all gather at the gate. Try not to gather on the pavement outside the school so that people can't get through the gate without coming close to each other. Fine to be out on the playground, fine to be in the school, but just away from other people. Use the car park as well, you know, while you're waiting to pick up your children. You know, if you want to say to the children, look, I'll meet you in the car park, that's absolutely fine. You can do that because staff will be, as usual, parking up in the White Horse. We'd like to encourage you to do that too. You've all been on loads of walks. You know it's not far to walk. Please park really, really carefully. So use the White Horse. They've allowed us to do that. Please do. Please don't park on the zigzags opposite the school. Please don't park on the bend round towards, as you go towards Ramsden Bell House. Please keep off the yellow lines, and really do your best to just try and make these children as safe as they possibly can. Talked about punctuality. Yeah, when the children come out of school, we've talked about the staggered start and finish times. So year 5, 6 will be coming, first ones in at 8:45, followed by year 3 and 4 at 8:55, followed by early years and Key Stage 1 at 9:05. Okay, so try and get them in. They need to be in school by those times. And then leaving school, year 5, 6 will be first to leave at 3, followed by year 3 and 4 at 3:10. And early years and Key Stage 1 at 3:20. Please, if you're picking up more than one child, whether you're a parent, a carer, a childminder, please come ready to pick up the last child. The rest of those children will stay in class until the last child, and then we'll be able to get you to pick up all of those children together. It just saves having parents waiting around for a long time in the playground, which we really don't want, and also we don't want children coming out early and having to wait for other children. The idea is that you pick your children up and go. So if you could do that and just avoid kind of lots of long conversations as well, that would be really useful. Uniform, we are back to uniform. The government recommendation is children wear uniform, and I think that's the right thing. But we're also conscious that children may have grown out of bits of uniform. They might have grown out of their school shoes and things like that. And it's really difficult to get hold of those things at the moment because obviously the shops are shut. I'm anticipating places like Asda and Tesco's and Sainsbury's being overwhelmed with people going in for school shoes. So it might be really difficult. So actually, we are going to be flexible about that. So get them in as much school uniform as you possibly can. But if, for example, they have to wear trainers, then that's okay at the moment. So just be very conscious of that. There are currently there is some school uniform on the bus that the PTA have kindly provided. There's a donations box there as well if you'd like to just make a donation for any uniform that you take from the bus. It's all good quality on there, and if you have any that you want to donate, there's also a box on there that you can donate uniform to the PTA, which is great. Children will need to bring in stationery as they usually do. Just discourage them from bringing in big bags. It's much better if they bring in a carrier bag or a tote bag or something that they can literally unload their things from, and then that bag can be folded up. It's much more useful. And provide your child with a hand sanitizer as well. There are lots of PE kits in school that children didn't take home at the end of the last time they were in school. Children will need clean PE kits. So we're not going to do PE in the first few days because the teachers are going to give those PE kits back to the children to bring home, get washed, bring them back as soon as you can. And as soon as the PE kits are back in school, we can start our PE lessons again. Again, just check the children's PE clothes that they fit them. And if they don't, then substitute for now until you can get the right kit. In terms of health and safety, the children will stay in very tight class bubbles. So we are going to be really, really strict on this. Last time we did have some moving around of teaching assistants just to cover teachers' planning time and bits and pieces, but that won't be happening this time. So children will stay in their bubbles with their teachers and their teaching assistants, and those teachers and teaching assistants will be allocated to those classes and no other classes. So I think that's quite fundamental, really. Masks. Adults will be wearing masks in the communal areas in school, and some adults will wear them in the classrooms as well. But that's personal choice by the adults. That's been happening at the moment with the classes that are in school at the moment. Parents, please wear masks on the school site. School's going to be thoroughly cleaned, of course, every evening. Plus, we're going to be fogging the school, the whole of the school, twice a week, as we did before. Throughout the day, areas of the school will be cleaned. So in the toilet areas and things, that they're being cleaned throughout the day, and children are being restricted for how many children can go to different places at different times. We're basically keeping the children out of the communal areas as much as we can. Staff will be taking 2 lateral flow tests each week, so we'll be very sure that we're not carrying the virus. In terms of communication, we, as always, like to communicate with you as much as possible. Please do feel free to communicate with us as well. So anything that you're not sure of, please ask your child's class teacher. Please email the school. Just don't hesitate to do that, because we know that there will be lots of questions coming up. If you are, the office will be open from Monday, but just to protect Mrs. Doyle, really, you know, although she's got a screen there and she's got masks, you know, if you can avoid coming to the office, that would be great. We're not saying you can't come to the office, but if it's something that you could email or give a telephone call for, that would be better, and that would help us. In terms of other things, other forms of communication, our Friday morning celebration assemblies that I know lots of you love, we will be, obviously the children will be seeing those, but they will be on the YouTube channel, so you can see them too, because I know lots of parents have said that they like that. We'll also, due to popular request, up until Easter at least, be running our chef school. This has been a really popular way of children learning the life skill of cooking proper meals. If you haven't experienced it, your child is not too young, no matter what age they are, and not too old to come and join us. It's really good fun, and we make sure that we let you know the recipes each week. Lots of parents have talked to us about, will the children have time just to be with their friends and be outside and all of those things when they come back to school. Obviously, it's a fine balance. We need to make sure that we get back on that recovery curriculum as soon as we can. But we are also mindful that the children haven't seen each other. Many of them haven't seen each other for such a long time. So time will be planned in for that, as will outdoor times. We won't be going back to when we did our very first lockdown, and there was a huge amount of outdoor time, because we're very restricted on where the children can go, when the children can go there. So there is a big rota that means that the children have allocated areas of the playground at allocated times during the day. But they will certainly be out there at break times, lunch times, and for some outdoor lessons as well, including Welly Wednesday and Muddy Monday, although that won't start in the first week. The focus, because it's only 3 weeks, the focus will be on children's well-being, and children, you know, back to the mental health things, and making sure the children are okay and happy and settled, but also on assessing the children, because the children have been so erratic in being in school and out of school that we feel that we need to assess them really, really well over those 3 weeks. So they'll be doing lots of testing, particularly in English and maths, and that will be happening so that we can be very sure where we start them back off after Easter, and be able to let you know that too. So we've planned a week of parents' evenings, and they will be not the week after Easter, but the week after that, starting on the 19th of April, where we can share information with you about where the children are and the things that we will be doing at school and that you can do at home to plug any gaps that need to be plugged. In terms of academic work in school, it will be a big bias on English and maths. But obviously coming up to Easter, we want the children to be able to celebrate Easter, although we can't do the big celebration service that we do in the cathedral every year. We will be doing work with children in their classes and activities to do with Easter, including the PTA have provided us with Easter eggs for an Easter egg hunt, so that will be good. Okay, so in terms of children's wellbeing, we have employed a pastoral support worker for those 3 weeks, and kind of like a wellbeing coach. She's having some time in school, so between 8:45 and 10:45, to work with children that may need it. So children who struggle to come into school because of attachment, having been at home for so long. And also maybe children who, once they get into school, just need someone to vent at, someone to talk to, someone to listen to them. So her name's Emma. She will be providing us with a video for next week, and which I'll alert you to, and you'll be able to see her. If there's any children if your children, you feel it would be helpful for her to talk to them and introduce herself personally just before, then do let me know. So just finally, I'd like to just talk to you about a few ways that you can really help your child to ease that transition next week, ready for them coming back to school. First of all, it's all about being positive. We're really positive. You may feel less positive about bringing your children back in, but however we feel, we need to display positivity to our children and talk to them about what a great opportunity it is now to come back into school. They'll have lots to share with the teachers about the things that they've been doing. They'll get to see their friends, loads and loads of positives. So trying to really focus on those positives, no matter how you're feeling. Watching the morning talks on Facebook Live at 8:15, I've talked about that, and that will be really important for the children, just to give them a sense of what it's going to be like coming back. I can't tell you how important I think it is to get back into a routine with the children. You may well have been having late bedtimes, later mornings maybe, not getting dressed and all those things, snacking hundreds of times through the day. Get back into a routine just like it would be back at school. Get the children up in good time, just like they would be going to school. Get them dressed, just in their normal clothes, not the school uniform. Have a mid-morning snack rather than grazing throughout the day. Have lunch. Have a regular time for a meal in the evening, and then thinking about bedtime, setting up a really good bedtime routine, getting the children to recognise that it's important to go to bed, to go to sleep. Routine, often people say like a bath, a story and bed. It's a really, really well tried and tested way, because whatever a child's routine is, if they do it every night, your brain has a muscle memory in it that will and it will get used to the fact that that's what's happening. So, you know, once the child starts with maybe the story or bath or whatever it might be at bedtime, they know bedtime's coming, they're used to it, and it will help induce sleep in them, hopefully. So get into those routines, get organised, make sure you've tried on the uniform, make sure you've got all the bits of stationery that you need, that everything's ready, everything's prepared, so that you're not going to have a big rush the next time, the first morning back in school. Reassuring the children, telling them that school's never been safer, because we're going the extra mile on cleaning, washing hands, talking to the children again about ways that they can ensure that they're as safe as they can be, trying just to allay the children's fears at the moment, because, you know, they're still hearing about the pandemic a lot, and it's important that they know that we're keeping them safe in school. Telling them that actually, you know, if it wasn't safe in school, we wouldn't be there. So it's a safe place for them. And really, just we've been talking all week about being kind. I just want to finish today on being kind. So being kind to the children, obviously, having a nice last week with them, being kind to the staff in school when you come back to school, because the staff are working so hard and really do want these children back. But most of all, being kind to yourselves. You've done an amazing job working from home with the children, and honestly, no matter how you feel, you've done a great job. These children will not have suffered from the pandemic. Quite often the opposite. They've had so many new learning experiences, and we need to take that as a positive. So be kind to yourself. Don't put yourself under pressure. The children won't, very unlikely that the children will just come and breeze in just as though it was all normal again. They're going to have up and down days. They're going to have days that they feel great, days that they feel less great, as we all are. Please don't put pressure on yourself to expect everything to be right within the first week, because it won't be. All we can do is work together to make sure that it's a happy transition, and that our children are happy, that you're happy, our families are happy, and our school is happy. Have a really, really great last week with them. Do all those things next week that you've enjoyed doing that you can't necessarily do when the children are at school.